defending champions. Sometimes I think it's difficult to defend and actually win it the first time. What's the mood in the camp like?
Oh, the boys are pretty excited. Obviously, we're playing in a grand final again, and I suppose last year we shocked a few people and even ourselves to make the grand final and then come away with the win. So this year's been a little bit different, I suppose, with the pressures and the expectations going into a season as being the reigning premiers. But our boys are looking forward to it. We've been waiting for a few weeks now to hopefully get that chance, and we're up against a quality club in West Perth.
Saying that, of course, last year you weren't expected to win. East Perth were the favourites, but you are the favourites going into this one. So there's a bit of a shift there, isn't there?
Oh, it's a different mindset, but I think our guys are smart enough to know that favouritism means nothing, as we saw last year. So once we sort of run out in the park on Sunday against West Perth, it's a 50-50 chance of winning, and we've got to make sure we bring our A-grade game to hopefully come away with the premiership.
Bill, this is your second grand final in 3 years. Are you kind of looking at it as this is your year?
Oh, I wouldn't say we're looking at it as if this is our year. We're like everyone. It's an exciting time to still be playing. We were really disappointed a couple of weeks ago against Subiaco, and I was really pleased with our players mentally being able to turn that around last week. So, look, it's funny as a coach. I thought 2013 and even this year I'd get a lot more nervous and stuff, but Jared will probably say the same thing. We've got so much to do and tick off and make sure everyone else is doing what they need to do that it's kind of just happens, and you just it's nose down and just keep working. So we'll just be having a red hot crack and see how we go, and if our best is good enough, it's good enough, and I hope it's a good game.
Last Sunday, how do you give you confidence going into this weekend's game?
Yeah, especially with a couple of players down. It's happened to us a number of times this year, and we were able to wind assisted last quarter, but I thought the players ran the game out really well. Apart from the first quarter where East Perth used the ball pretty well with a significant breeze, I think we kept them to 20 inside 50s after quarter time. So really happy with the finish of the game, but that means nothing. Round 1, round 15, everything up to now means nothing. We reset and go out on Sunday and put our best foot forward and see if we can get away with the win.
In terms of personnel, where are Matt Johnson and Lane Rasmussen at? Do they go right down to Sunday before you make the call?
Nah. Jono's done a 4 to 6 week hamstring, so I don't think he's playing, and Lane Rasmussen's got a broken bone in his leg, so I'm not expecting either of them to play. Lane keeps texting me daily telling me that a broken bone won't stop him. Look, he's had an x-ray, and then he had an MRI yesterday, which we're waiting for the scans to come back. There's a slight chance that it's a break off the bottom of a bone that may allow him to play. I ruled him out Sunday, ruled him out Monday, and he's telling me he'll be right to go. So we'll actually give him. He's going to see the specialist on Friday to get the last bit of whether he can play or not. So I'll name him, leave him till probably Sunday morning, but don't expect him to run out.
So, Jay, does that mean how determined the players are to all play on Sunday? It's maybe in some players' eyes a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, it's a great experience really. This whole lead up to the game and then the game itself. It's a different group this year to what we had in 2013. So there's a fresh excitement, I guess, about the whole approach to the week, and the players are really excited. They're taking it in their stride, I guess, as best they can, trying to keep the nerves down. And all we can ask from the playing group and each other is to put our best foot forward, and if it's good enough, it's good enough. If not, we can certainly be proud of what we've achieved.
Scully, they use a philosophy, it's better to have momentum like West Perth maybe going to the grand final, or maybe having the ability to rest players. What do you think about the science behind it, and how do you read it?
Look, yeah, you can look at both ways, I suppose. The advantage of it, what we've seen with West Perth, they responded from obviously their loss to us to get themselves to a grand final, and the mindset. I think once you cross that line, you play football to play for success in a team environment and to make grand finals. So having the rest, we earned that right by finishing top. I've had to make sure we manage our boys right. Obviously, there is a small advantage, I suppose, to that to look after any sore spots. But at the same time, we went through it last year where we had to play 3 games in a row, by losing our first final at East Perth. So look, it can be done, and we definitely won't be taking West Perth lightly just because they have a couple of injury concerns and they've had to play one extra game than us. We will look at this as a tough game, definitely.
Jared, in terms of personnel, there's probably not going to be many changes to your second semi-final side. I think Scott Worthington was on report, but God, I'll say, not expecting many changes.
Darren's under pressure, so we might not be able to slot him in there. Our squad is healthy. Our reserves obviously bowed out on the weekend, and we've got a few boys that played in that game that will obviously be in the mix. Once again, we'll pick a side based on roles. There was even though we got away with the win last time, there was some concerns with some players, obviously from Bill's side, that we got to make sure that we look at and make sure we get our structures right. So look, our side isn't finalised, and we'll get through the next couple of training sessions, and if boys get through unscathed and there's no injuries, and we can be confident and pick a side that hopefully will get us a win, or then guys that played on the weekend are in the mix.
Darren, what's it been like as a player waiting for the day to arrive, having, of course, a week off?
You just treat it like a normal bye, to be honest. Obviously, we know we're in the grand final, so you've got the 2 weeks to, I guess, look forward to it. But with the first week having off, we've just kind of managed some of the boys, probably including myself, being a bit older, getting some recovery in, and then had a good hit out. But with our reserves being in the finals up until Sunday, we just got around them and treated the week like any other week, really, and that's all you really can do.
You're saying you being a bit older, there is a few players that no doubt have had a great career in football. Could it be the swan song for a few of the Super Senior players?
Possibly. I don't know. I haven't really spoken to anyone about it. But there's not that too many older players in our team. There's only probably myself. Wade Toomey's the next one. He's 29. And below that, the boys are only 27 and below. So I dare say there wouldn't be too many retirements at all, coming after Sunday.
A lot of players, or most players, go through their football career without playing in a premiership. You've played in 5. If you win on Sunday, that's 6, and you join a fairly select group. That must be a huge incentive.
Absolutely. Every year that we play, I think it's a standard that the club set, even to the back in the day when Billy was at the club. The standard that CB set is to make the finals, and to go far in the finals. So, for me, it's what I look forward to, or trying to do every year. If we don't make finals, it's a fail. So, I'm just looking forward to Sunday like any other game or a grand final that I've played in.
Apart from being older and more experienced, how do you compare these ones, say, to the last we've had 4, 6, 7, 8? Grand finals.
How do we compare them? Is that what you're saying? It's just like, I wouldn't say it's like any other grand final, because obviously a different group, different opponents, all that type of thing. But just prepare like any other game, really, because at the end of the day, when you get to the game, you're going to be some nerves and things at the start. It's going to come across everyone, but it's the first team that settles, and once you get into that flow, it is actually just another game, and you've just got to implement your structures and what you talk about through the week and through the year.
West Perth doing anything special, Bill, for the grand final, like in relation to past players, or bringing them back, or just trying to add something different to this week?
No, not really. I think, as both Jared and Rumba have said, it's about trying to keep it as normal as you can. We get a lot of well wishers and a lot of senior and ex-players come back through the place. But as soon as you start trying to do too much of that, it does take their focus away. We say all week it's a game. Yes, there's more at stake, but keep it normal. It's just another game of football. Who settles first? All of those things. And then if you start trotting out all these special things, they go, "What the hell are you talking about? You're doing all these things that we don't normally do." Just a couple of little tweaks in probably our preparation. But this time of year we're down to very little training. It's just sharpening up and going through the last little bit of stuff that we think tactically we need to be better against Subi, keeping them fresh mentally and physically, and getting out there on a fine Sunday, hopefully in front of a big crowd, and having a red hot crack.
In
Johnson and Rasmussen both don't play, and it sounds like they're not going to. Some of the leading contenders to come in out of the reserve.
Ray Bartholomew withdrew last week with a slight injury, and that took a lot of courage from Ray. Ray's getting right towards the end of his career, and he knew deep down he wasn't quite right. He had a couple of things over the previous two finals, so he'll probably come back in and give us some experience and some run, and then we're down to probably 4 or 5 guys. So if you look back across our sides we've selected over the 3 weeks of finals, we're allowed to put a squad of 26 in, and there's been 27 guys named each week. Jordan Jones came back into the mix last week, so it's probably those 27. I'm not going to go outside of that. I'm not going to read the 27 to you now, but we're not.
Can you?
Yeah, I can. So look, it's the guys who have played a lot of league footy. We're going to train with about 27 or 28 tonight. That's about the squad we wanted to. Last week we trained with about 35. It's going to be a tough call. Jordan Jones is probably the big one that we'll need to discuss. Hasn't played any footy. He played round 1 and played a reserves first semi-final. But Jordan's a quality player, and he's got versatility, a bit of size and strength, and they're all things that we could probably use against Subiaco this week. But he'll hate me for saying it because he's pestering me every day for about a month now. He's more likely not to play than play. It's just a huge risk, and probably with Johnson and Rasmussen out, it just opens the door a little bit for him. But he'll be named in our 26. I'll tell you that. Whether we'll play him or not, we'll wait till Scully's side comes out, and if there's any changes. But I would think only 1, maybe 2 at the very most. They may want to change, but I'm thinking they'll go in unchanged.
Jay, the coach said just like any other game. You don't believe it, do you?
Well, there's
What do your teammates tell them?
there's more at stake, obviously, and it is exciting. But at the end of the day, it's the rules are the same, the players are the same, and the opposition are a side that we've faced before. So it is just another game, but there's certainly more at stake and a big reward at the end if you play well. So I know that Subi are certainly not going to be giving away a premiership, so it's going to be a certainly hard task to try and compete with them. But obviously the boys are going to be excited about it, and we'll give it a red hot crack.
Scully, if you take that off on Sunday, that's 2 in 2 years. You know what the questions will be asking you come Monday?
No.
What's the next goal? What's the next challenge? Jared Schofield.
Yeah, look, that's great if it does, but it's not about me. My focus when I came on board as a coach was to try and create and get the club back to a successful club. It'd been a bit lean for a few years. We've had a good sort of 10 to 12 years in the league, and my goal was to bring success, and we've been able to do that in a short time. Last year probably surprised a lot of us, even internally. This year probably exceeded some expectations in terms of how many win-loss we've won, but the one thing that hasn't is the growth of the group and the process and the structures we put in place. So I feel like I'm on a journey with that, and I've got great people around me, great players that are supporting me in my program, and my coaches around me. So look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's not in my thoughts at the moment what I'm worrying about next year. I'm contracted, and at this point in time I just want to get through this week, the next couple of training sessions, and hopefully get a win with the boys on Sunday.